Hello and welcome to the Storyboard Show. I'm John Gilbert.
And I'm Ian Thompson.
And this is a show where we like to hear stories and then unpick them to see what we can figure out that might be valuable for business. But this is the first episode, so we probably ought to explain who we are and what Storyboard is. So Ian, what are we doing here? And
do you want me to start first?
Please.
So I used to run a film and media film production company called NDE Films in Hull, and I did lots of stuff, not just in Hull, but around the region as well. And then I was quite lucky to go quite a few places around the world as well, which was very nice. Then John came along. John's going to tell you a bit more about himself shortly. John came along and you suggested that maybe we go into business together. And the idea of this was I was doing a lot of work with you anyway. Mm-hmm. And it was quite interesting stuff because it was a lot more sort of narrative stuff, wasn't it? It was a lot more storytelling as opposed to usual sort of, which, still very valuable, but as opposed to normal sort of montage filmmaking, then it was a lot more storytelling, a lot more narrative. It was exciting.
It was a lot more interesting.
It was a lot more interesting. So we decided to team up and try and do lots and lots more of that and try and persuade other companies to do that as well. Yeah. Not other media companies, other clients to, tell stories through the filmmaking.
Yeah, certainly. I guess from my perspective, with Eskimo Soup, we've specialised in social marketing, so a lot of our clients have been public sector, large charities, and a lot of that has required us to tell stories to invoke emotions. But what we found is businesses were asking us for more of that as well, but we just needed to make sure that we were going to be able to deliver that to a good quality. So that's why we decided to partner with you, Ian.
Yeah, and it works nice, isn't it? I don't mean us. I mean, we work beautifully.
Absolutely, as you can tell.
But I think it works nicely, the storytelling element for companies as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we stand against is this kind of boring, mediocre video. I just don't think it cuts it anymore. I think there's so many messages that we're bombarded with. It's like, buy my stuff, aren't we? Great. It doesn't really work. But we do, as people get engaged with stories, so we can still get those points across, but in a way that's interesting to watch, interesting to make, and the client's got something that's going to be it's going to last longer than just a standalone ad.
And there's more and more videos being used on the internet, internet or video traffic on the internet is going up and up and up every year with streaming, with various types of video, and the rise of things like YouTube getting massive, more massive, and Vimeo, and all things like this, and on social media as well, more and more videos every year. And I think that means that you've got to stand out a bit more as well because of that.
It does, and with that in mind, we're running a risk right now of being one of those things that talks about all of the services and things that you could buy. But with the Storyboard Show, the ethos of that is around the story. Exactly, so what we will be doing in future episodes is having guests, but in the meantime, you've got you and I basically. Me. So you are here as
I'm John's guest this week.
As our guest. So I interrupted you earlier on to mention that as part of your filmmaking, that has taken you around the world.
It has.
Part of what you do. So what's that been like? Has it always been plain sailing?
No, it's been nice. I've been to America quite a bit. I've been to San Francisco about 5 times, I think now. One of the clients that I was working for was a tech client. I still do work for them actually. It was a tech client, and we used to go on to San Francisco a lot and catch the vibe there, which was very nice. Been to LA, been to New York 2 or 3 times, Atlanta a few times, and then there's another client as well that we worked for, which was a superb business model. They only film luxury hotels and properties around the world. It's superb. So they get to visit the most amazing places, and occasionally I've been along with them to do some drone stuff, some aerial filming as well, which is very nice. Yeah, been to quite a few places. Santorini was very nice. Mm-hmm.
So do you take the drone across there?
I take the drone with me. That's a nightmare through customs usually. Actually, a superb thing is when you go through customs, then the batteries, because they're lithium-ion batteries, then they've got to be in bags with like warning signs on them, like on the back of lorries where it says that there's dangerous chemicals or whatever. And they've got to go in these fireproof bags. And that's for when they're in the plane as well, in case, because they can just, I don't want to worry people, but anyway, they're in fireproof bags.
So as a passenger, if we see a man getting on with a drone, should we say, I'll get the next one?
Yeah, just wait for the next one to come along. Okay. So anyway, so they're in these fireproof bags, and but obviously when you get through to customs, then you have to take them out of your bag and put them through like electrical equipment and whatnot. So I was in Santorini Airport, which is quite a small airport, and I was on my own. I'd stayed a day longer, so I was just there travelling on my own, and And I should tell you as well, I have high blood pressure, so I'm on blood pressure tablets as well. I take 2 tablets every day, and whenever I take,
Let's just launch in with some
any medical problems.
I didn't know my medical history in the next one. It's probably not as exciting as yours, actually. But.
So every morning, I don't like to have them first thing. So every morning I put them in my left-hand pocket, and then that reminds me to have them because I put my hand in my left-hand pocket whenever I need my keys or anything. Fill the tablets, remember to take them. So I'm there at customs, and I'm taking my laptop out of my bag, I'm taking the batteries out of my bag, then I go to get my keys and my wallet out, I reach in for my keys, and there's two tablets in my pocket. So I think, right, I haven't taken my tablets, I best take them now. And I'm stood there with these 2 tablets in my pocket, and the woman next to me just sort of looks at the 2 tablets and looks up at me. I look at her and then down my tablets. I put my tablets in my mouth. The second I put my tablets in my mouth, I remember taking the tablets at breakfast. These can't be today's, these must be yesterday's that I forgot to take. So I spit them out into my hand. Now one of the tablets is a powder tablet, so it had already started dissolving. So now the woman's looking at me and I've just got loads of white powder in my hand, which I look at her and then vigorously start trying to shake it off onto the floor and get rid of it. So I'm doing that, at which point she looks down and I take out of my bag this fireproof bag with a warning sign on saying later may explode or something like that, and put it on the thing. Then I turn to the customs people, and as they wave me through the metal detector, I explain to them, no, I've got a pacemaker, I can't go through it. So they walk me round security as well. How this woman actually got onto the plane, I'll never know, but she did. She looked horrified at the whole thing. So that's the excitement of flying with me.
Okay, and it's a wonderful thing. Thank you for sharing that.
All right, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay now?
I'm fine.
Have you had your tablet today?
I've had my actually no.
Oh God.
I haven't. No, but I will do.
Well,
yeah.
When we switch the cameras off, that must be the first thing that we do.
We'll set an alarm.
But as well as sharing that personal story, one of the things that we decided we have to do with the storyboard, we're not just going to ramble at you. We are proper businessmen.
It's
as
not
well.
just me ranting.
So we have to ask the question: what does that story teach us about business, Ian?
What does the story teach us about business? It teaches us to be prepared,
yes.
to plan ahead.
Take your drugs.
Take your drugs before you get to customs.
Yeah. Okay. And then sometimes when you're blindsided by the situation, you just got to adapt.
Stop panicking.
That requires you to plan.
Stop panicking and start going like that in customs. Yeah. So plan ahead.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Just like the scouts tell us.
Yeah. And never mind the scouts, is what the storyboard makes. See, viewers might not have known to prepare for things until they were inspired by that story.
Exactly.
That's what we're here for.
We're changing the world one stream at a time.
Yeah. Which stream or story? One streamed story at a time.
There we go.
Okay. The other thing then is that what we're planning to do is to, if we get viewers, is to have viewers' questions. Now we haven't, because this is the first episode on here as well. So I'm going to improvise slightly by asking you as my guest, Ian. Who would play you in a movie of your life?
So I always have this conversation with people, and I never decide on who it is. I know I'd like to play me. Someone I like Stanley. Is it Stanley Tucci?
Yeah. He was in Fortitude until he was not for very long.
No one was in Fortitude for very long, I don't think.
That's true.
But he's great. Yeah, I like him.
Okay.
Am I allowed to pick just someone I like? Or does it have to be someone who'd play me well?
I don't know. I mean, who do you think... Who do you think? Or
is it got to be someone who looks like me?
Well, I don't know. I guess I was just after a silly answer. Okay, but I don't want to insult you.
I've thought about it maybe too much, or not thought about it at all. One of the two. It's resulted in the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Stanley Tucci's got the... could he recreate that scene with the magic with which you shared with us as well? I don't know. It could be his toughest role.
Career
to date. Yeah, it could well be. Okay, brilliant. Well, I think that draws us to a close of our first episode of the Storyboard Show. We are going to be putting a series together from our studio in Hull, which is something that we're going to be developing and we're going to be offering to clients. And I guess
we're going to have guests on in future weeks.
Yeah, certainly. So if you're watching this and thinking, I would love to be a guest on the Storyboard Show, please do get in touch with us. And I think we'll wrap it up for there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching.